Our guest speaker today is Command Sergeant Major Eric Anderson. Command Sergeant Major Eric Anderson currently serves as the Utah Army and Air National Guard as the Utah National Guard Senior Enlisted Leader. He was born on 9 February 1972 in Price, Utah. He enlisted in the Utah Army National Guard on 15 March 1989. Sergeant Major Anderson received his basic training at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and followed on at the Defense Language Institute in Monterey, California, where he learned to speak Russian. He later went on to Fort Huachuca, Arizona, to advanced individual training, where he received the MOS 35 Mike, Human Intelligence Collector. A short time later, he transferred to 35 Pop as a cryptologic linguist. He served in the 101st Military Intelligence Battalion, the 142nd Military Intelligence Battalion, the 300th Military Intelligence Brigade, and the 640th Regimental RTI. He deployed to Iraq from 2003 to 2004, serving in both operations Enduring Freedom and Iraqi Freedom. His duty positions include interrogator, section sergeant, training sergeant, platoon sergeant, cryptologic operations sergeant, battalion operations sergeant, first sergeant, 300th Military Intelligence Brigade operations sergeant major, command sergeant major of the 142nd Military Intelligence Battalion, command sergeant major of the 640th Regimental RTI, Utah Army National Guard G3 sergeant major, command sergeant major of the 300th Military Intelligence Brigade, Utah Army National Guard Land Component command sergeant major, and now he currently serves as the Utah Army and Air National Guard Senior Enlisted Leader. His military and civilian education includes all the primary and non-commissioned officer courses, including basic non-commissioned officer course, advanced non-commissioned officer course, first sergeant course, and sergeant's major academy. He holds a Bachelor's of Science degree. Sergeant Major Anderson's awards and decorations include the Legion of Merit, Meritorious Service Medal, the Joint Service Commendation Medal, the Army Commendation Medal, the Army Achievement Medal, the Army Good Conduct Medal, the Utah Medal of Merit, the Army Reserve Component Achievement Medal, the National Defense Service Medal, the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, the Iraqi Campaign Medal. He is also a recipient of the Knowlton Award and a member of the Honorary Order of St. Barbara. Sergeant Major Anderson has been married for 25 years to Britt Anderson. They have 4 children and currently reside in Utah. Sergeant Major.
I thought I cut that bio down. I need to cut a couple more paragraphs out of that. It's great to be here today with you this morning. First, before I get started, I want to sincerely thank the families and visitors that are here supporting the troops that are graduating today. This is a team sport, and none of this is done without the support of the family. So I sincerely thank you for that. I also want to take a brief minute and thank the instructors, the staff, cadre that put on this course. Having worked at an RTI, at a schoolhouse, I can tell you it takes an incredible amount of time and patience sometimes to put together a course like this and have it be successful. So thank you to the staff here. This, as I mentioned, it's an honor for me to be here today. I look at everything that's going on in our country right now. We live in incredibly crazy times. We've just spent the longest time ever fighting in a war with an enemy, while incredibly lethal and vicious, is technologically disadvantaged compared to the United States. When we look at the future of combat, we see the possibilities of facing a near-peer competitor with unrivaled technology. And so it kind of changes how we look at the future. Your role as a recruiter really hits at the most important aspect of preparing for combat, and that is readiness. The way I break readiness down, I break it into 5 little categories. And you guys affect 2 of those categories significantly. First category is strength. Second category is MOSQ. The third is professional military education completion. The third is medical readiness. And the fourth is retention. Obviously, we can't have a ready force if we don't have soldiers with in the units to prepare to go fight and win. And then when we look at retention really comes down to awesome, realistic training. And you guys also play a huge role in that. I'll tell you, the stronger the relationships, this is a people business, and the stronger the relationships you have with those units that you're recruiting for, and the more in place and embedded you are in the communities that you're recruiting in, the more efficient you will be as recruiters, and the more efficient you'll be at building readiness within the National Guard. As you move out and do things for our organization, I want you to keep a couple things in mind, 3 different things. A quote I like by Carlos Castaneda said, "The basic difference between an ordinary man and a warrior is that a warrior takes everything as a challenge, while an ordinary man takes everything as a blessing or a curse." We know at the end of the day that all the challenges that we will face together are a challenge. And all of this takes a disciplined approach to work. I'm going to play a short 2.5-minute video kind of element to expound on that a little bit. This, the guy talking is Jocko Willink. Many of you have heard his podcast, you've seen his videos.
It's so often the easy path that calls to us to be weak for that moment, to break down for that moment, to give in to the desire and the short-term gratification. But the discipline will not allow that. The discipline calls for strength and fortitude and will. It won't accept weakness. It won't tolerate another breakdown. I always say that discipline is the root of all good qualities, but you have to absolutely apply it to things outside of just waking up early. It's everything. It's working out every day, making yourself stronger and faster and more flexible and healthier. It's about disciplining your emotions so you can make good decisions. It's about having the discipline to control your ego so your ego doesn't get out of hand and control you. And doing the tasks that you don't necessarily want to do, but that you know will help you or help your team. It's about facing your fears. It takes discipline to face your fears so you can conquer them. And that's what discipline is. Discipline means taking the hard road, the uphill road, to do what's right for yourself and for other people. The discipline can seem like it's your worst enemy. But the reality is, discipline is your best friend. It will take care of you like nothing else can. And it'll put you on that path. The path to strength and health and intelligence and happiness. And most importantly, it'll put you on that path to freedom.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're trusting you with a very important mission, and that's putting our nation's sons and daughters in uniform. We expect you to do it morally and ethically. And we do this via 3 methods, really. And is when I talk with soldiers who are in trouble, they'll oftentimes say, "Sergeant Major, I was trying my best," or "I was trying to do this, I was trying to do that." I've heard that so much, in fact, that I hate the word try. I would ask you today, right now, to replace the word try with work. Try means fail. And when you're working on something, it's progress, it's initiative, it's discipline. And so I would ask you right now to replace that word try with work. The second part of this is you have to actually put work in every day. Working towards accomplishing your mission day in, day out is the difference between style and lifestyle. People aren't physically fit that decide to work out 1 weekend a month. They're physically fit who live a lifestyle of physical fitness. They live it every day. The same thing goes with meeting your mission. Same thing goes with maintaining a professional appearance, maintaining your soldier skills, building and maintaining your combat readiness. This requires deliberate work and discipline on your part to do this. Third and final part of this is called occupying your space. For a lot of servant leaders, this is sometimes very difficult because they don't want to be in the spotlight. They don't want to step up and do what needs to be done because of fear of receiving credit or blame sometimes. What I would ask you to do today is make a commitment to yourselves to step up, move to the sound of gunfire, and lead. Take responsibility, step into this new role as a recruiter, and make things happen. As I mentioned before, this is a people business. You need to get to know your unit members, and more importantly, get out in the community. Become a part of the community at all times. Be aware of your soldiers and your recruits, and realize that they will take leadership and guidance and feedback from you. They will shape what they're doing based on what they see you doing. At all times, you should lead by personal example. Even though recruiting is very competitive, almost dog eat dog, I would ask you to be aware of each other. Look to your left, look to your right, surround yourself with a coalition of like-minded individuals who will help you, that will enable you to be successful in this mission. I would also ask you to take a step further than that and look at those who need assistance and devote the time and effort to mentor and bring these soldiers up, to increase their expertise and productivity. It's not just about you, it's about everyone. It's about completing the mission of the Utah Army National Guard. Thank you for your service today, appreciate everything you do, and best of luck to you in the future.
Thank you for those words of encouragement, Command Sergeant Major Anderson.